Did you know that you can create 6 unique content types from one YouTube video? It's true. One long form YouTube video, you can generate blog posts, carousels, short videos that you would use, say, for TikTok, Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts, tweets, quotes, and even polls. If you've ever created a YouTube video, you know just how much work goes into this. So why not make the most of it? Now, of course, everything that we're going to be talking about, you could use with somebody else's YouTube video, but with a grain of caution here because you want to make sure that you are not infringing on any intellectual property, copyright, or privacy laws. And just to be safe, make sure that you are giving credit to the original channel that posted the video. Now, with all of that said, in today's video, we are going to go through creating blog posts and carousels from one long form YouTube video. We'll cover the rest in next week's video. So if you're ready to make the most out of your YouTube videos, then grab your coffee or your drink of choice and meet me at the computer. Okay, so here we are at the computer, and this is my YouTube channel, one of my videos. If you scroll into the description, then you can see that there's a section for your transcript. You click on that, and then on the right-hand side here, it just shows up, right? So what you can do is you can toggle on and off the timestamps. I like to keep them just so that, especially if you're going to be doing your descriptions, because then you can get your chapters done by ChatGPT. But for this purpose, we're just going to keep it all in here, select it all, and then we're going to copy and paste it into a Google Doc. You could put it into a Word document if this is an 18-minute video, but if you had a really long one, you may want to go into a Word document, and save that. But this should fit within ChatGPT. Scroll up. What I'm going to do, make that a bit bigger, and I'm going to rename this as well. So we'll just say IG. This was ironically a carousel video, which we're going to be talking about after this. IG carousel transcript. Done. Now that we've got that, we can feed this into ChatGPT, but we've got a 3-part blog prompt. So part 1 is going to be the outline. That's what this is. So we're going to, because I do step-by-step tutorials, we want this to not sound like a step-by-step tutorial. Then we're going to do bullet points under each section. And then once we're happy with that, we want to keep a human in the loop at each step. Then we write the full blog post using these sorts of things to make sure that it doesn't sound too AI generated. So the reading level, the short and long, and then the goal is to make this feel like a compelling, engaging read, not just a set of instructions. So that's pretty much the prompt. This will be in the description below. So we're going to take this part 1, we're going to copy that, and we're going to go over to ChatGPT and just click Control V or Command V. And then with the transcript, what we can do in here is we'll paste that. So it's already selected. We'll copy it and then we'll paste it right there. We go. And we'll just click this up. It usually jumps on me here. Let's see, it jumps right to the beginning. So anyway, that's fine. You can just click that down arrow and here it goes. It's already baking. So with the outline, and here what you can do is read through it and make sure that the outline makes sense for everything that that you're trying to accomplish. So all of these different pieces. So definitely you want to have a human in the loop. Make sure that every point that you wanted to cover is covered. Make sure it's not covering points that you really don't want to cover in your video or in your blog post story. So there's several bullets, as you can see, and it's going through each different section. Now, the one thing I don't think is in the prompt is word count limit, but which you can add in. You can make this your own. Again, the prompt will be in the description below. So next, what we're going to do, let's pretend we're happy with this. If you edit it, you can add a revised outline, and here's the outline. But we're just going to move to part 2, and we're going to copy this in. There we go. We're not going to bother with the outline because we've already got it. But like I said, if you wanted to edit it, that's where you would, maybe paste the outline. So I'm just going to delete that from here. And there we go. And then we're just going to click this in. Alrighty. So we're going to, there it is. See, it's starting to refine it already. Now you can see that there's some statistics in here. You're going to definitely want to fact check all of this, right? And again, this is just a little bit more. You can edit this from here. If once you've sort of trained, like say a ChatGPT assistant, or if you've got a really good custom GPT, whatever it is, then you can start to well, the custom GPT you can't automate, but an assistant you can, or if you have a really solid prompt that you trust, then you can just throw this into an automation. But I would still recommend a human in the loop before you post anything, because you just want to make sure that the quality is good and that you've fact checked any claims. Now that we're done with that one, we are going to generate this as a full-on blog post. We're going to pretend that we've already edited the subpoints and everything else, or if you're just happy with whatever ChatGPT's, we're going to move that out of the way. We'll just paste it in here. Boom. And here's the fully written blog post. Now you see Canvas is already opening for us. And so you can edit right from within this Canvas. You could use Canvas right away. If you have the paid version, this is not going to work, I think, on the free tier. I don't know, though. But now you can read through this entire thing, which should, like, this looks really, really good. But like I said, human in the loop are really important, making sure that everything is fact checked in the tone of voice that you like, and that it's, you know, pretty engaging. But this looks, just on first blush, it looks pretty good to me. It looks like it's a pretty decent length, but you may ask ChatGPT to make it shorter, but you can see right there, write something, you can do edits right in here. So that's your blog post. Once you're happy with it, you can run an automation to actually automate posting this to your website or wherever you like your blogs. Okay, so next is going to be, if you recall from a previous video, we did carousels that we did for LinkedIn. So this is the template that we used for that. Now, what I'm going to do, what I have already done, so I've taken that and I basically just removed all of the text that was in there. So now this is kind of my new template. It's just a copy of that. Because what we're going to do, we're not going to use Canva this time. We're going to use Google Slides. So we're going to use this as the background. So we're just going to download this, right? Now, I may not use the same handle and all of that, but there we go. Now we're in Google Slides. We're going to rename this, and I'm sorry if this is cut off on the left-hand side, but I'm just going to call it carousels. You can call it whatever you want to, right? For weekly YouTube. But you can call it whatever you want to. Now we want to make sure, because of this size, we go to File, Page Setup, and Custom. So we're going to do the 1080 by 1080 square in pixels. Okay, so 1080 by 1080, and that's really the size that we want to make sure that we've got. It's consistent with the see, it already changes, consistent with what we created in Canva. So we can just delete this, and then what we'll do is we're going to duplicate this. We need to have 6 slides. So we can just duplicate this and continue on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just, you just click in there, change background, choose image. Now I downloaded those images. It's in my downloads folder. It's on my other screen, actually. I can just drag and drop the first one here, and that'll change the background of this first slide. Then you click done. Perfect. See, this is the background now. We'll do the same for the second slide, which is going to be slightly different, if you recall. And we could just go into this. We're just going to duplicate it, but we duplicate it again. You can actually select a couple of these. That's what I'll do. Select 2 and then just duplicate slides. So now we're going to have, there we go. And now what we'll do is we can change the background, choose an image, and then drag and drop from the files that we downloaded from Canva. And so see, because each page is different, we're going to do this page by page, but I've just kind of flash forwarded to get that done. And now we've got each of these pages is kind of blank, right? So we can see now, you can go back to your Canva, the original one, and you can see like where you might have text, just to make sure, and you can kind of align it properly. And this is where we're going to insert some text boxes. And this is where we can actually create a text box. There it is. We can actually create now an automation. So we're going to use double curly brackets because that's a tag. We'll call it like topic, double curly brackets. We want to close that. Then we're going to insert another text box. And we know that this was kind of big with really big font, right? So here we'll put our double curly brackets again. Let's see the size first. And then cover, this is just going to be a tag, right? To cover content. And then we close that with double curly brackets. And that's how we know that this is a tag. We're going to just make this smaller case. And this, now we can just kind of go up here. You can play around with the size because we want this to be considerably bigger. There, that looks like it's pretty good. Perfect. And that's a pretty decent size. And then now we've got our 1 of 4. And so if we look back over to Canva, we see that we've got a bold kind of heading here, and then like just a regular size font typeface. And this is kind of throughout the pretty much the rest of it until the last page. So now what you could do, I guess, let's see if we can copy this and paste it over to our slide. It doesn't quite work, but we can just, that's okay. At least we get a bit of a sense of what might fit if we change the font size from here, right? It gives us at least a little bit of a template of how we might want to shape and size these boxes. I'm just duplicating it so that we've got the title, and then we've got the heading and the subheading, as it were. And then you can just play around with these using inspiration from the Canva template, right? Oh, we might want to make that a little bit smaller, bold. Okay, we may want to make that a little bit smaller, and you can also change the font, etc. So this is kind of how I would do it to make sure that this is going to fit when you put in your placeholder text, right? And then you can align these boxes in such a way that you make sure that it does indeed fit. So we're going to, this was 32. We're going to maybe change this to 32. You can just type in here. You don't have to actually, yeah. And then you can worry about your alignment. So this is pretty much it when it comes to getting your template. And we're doing this again in Google Slides. And then this way, so we're just going to put our double curly brackets, content 1, title. I actually have this in a Google sheet as well. So we'll take a look at that. And then double curly brackets, because that means it's a tag. Content 1, details. And then these are tags, like I said, if you're doing this over and over again, we can feed this into an automation. So now what I've done is I've gone ahead and just done this. There's no need for you to actually have to watch me do this. So we're doing CTA. CTA. And we're going to make this really big. There. And this is kind of the final slide. There we go. We can kind of take a look through it. I'm just going to copy and paste it. And now we've got our template in a Google slide. And this will feed into an automation. It's really cool. So here we go. Now, what we're going to do, I've got another prompt. This, again, it's all part of the same document that's linked in the description below. This is for generated carousels from our transcript, right? Example output format, the whole thing. This is a pretty lengthy one, ChatGPT prompt that is. So this I find really good. I want this to only be like a few pages, like 6 pages. So there we go. We're going to pop that in to ChatGPT. And now we're going to go back over to our transcript. We're going to just copy that, Control C or Command C, back over to ChatGPT and Command or Control V, just to make sure that we've pasted that in. There we go. We're going to click there. Oh, we can scroll down or just click that little arrow. Boom. See, I wanted it to be in a chart format because I've got this in a Google Sheet, which is actually part of our content calendar, which we did in a previous video here. All right, so you can just include this in your content calendar. You've got it already. And then, oh, no, there's even captions. It's not in the chart, but we can just copy what's in this chart and put it into a Google Sheet. So we see we've got the slide, content titles and details, etc. So I've got that right here. Just pasted that there, and the caption, I'm going to go back into ChatGPT, and that's okay. We can just kind of paste that in. Now, because I only post once a week, I can do this once a week. It's not a big deal, but then it'll just feed into an automation, which we'll go through in a bit. So we can just kind of go into that, Control V, boom. And you can then change this around so that, you know, it all fits in all of the right ways. Right, we're going to wrap the text and just to make it a little bit easier to read as well. That's a bit wide. Let's just pop that. There we go. Make sure that it is wrapped there. And so we can see all of this, which looks pretty good. Now we're going to go back into, like I said, make.com, and we are going to automate this bad boy. So we're going to start, I'm going to actually start with the increment function because I find it gives a little bit more control. And there we go. Increment, just save, that's fine. And then next is going to be our Google Sheet. Now this Google Sheet is in a different Chrome instance. So I think I'm going to have to actually connect it. Because I have my Podorable Finds and this one, but I don't have, oh yeah, it's there. Tailor-made. But sometimes you have to re-establish connection, but it's just authorizing like you would anything else. And just allow, and you'll be fine. You'll probably get some sort of a notification email or whatever saying somebody's trying to do this, and you can say, yeah, it was me. So we're going to search for the spreadsheet ID. It's just going to be from my drive. It's going to be my content calendar. And then the sheet, of course, is going to be carousels, which is right at the bottom. Carousels. It contains headers, column range, A to Z. Z because I'm Canadian. No filter. We're going to order by column A, which is the date. I have that set up as a posting date, which is pretty standard for those types of things. So we're going to say posting date, column A. This field type is a date. We're going to sort ascending, and limit is going to be 1 because we only want to do 1 at a time. And then I'm going to click save. So now after, I don't know why, sometimes it does this. It's like this really weird glitchy thing, but that's okay. Gotta love these technologies. So after this, now that we've got our Google Sheets search rows, we're going to go into slides. Now we can look at show more. We're going to create a presentation from a template because we just created that template. And again, we've got our, make sure you've got the right connection. You may only have one and not like me having way too many. The title, what are we going to call this new presentation is basically what this is saying. I'm going to say it is, we want it to be something unique, right? So we'll do the cover slide title. And then copy presentation, just by drop down is fine. It's going to be in my drive. And then the presentation ID, we're just going to select this. And I've got it in a folder called Carousels in my drive. carousels for weekly YouTube. That is the one that we just created, right? So that's where we put it. Now the topic, all we have to do is map it back. Column A, column B, column C. We just, or sorry, not that one. Column D, E, F. And we just need to plunk these into here. So content 1 details, content 2 title, and you can see that because that is what our column headings are. So it's really just a matter of mapping all of these over. And if you'll notice, all of these mappings come right from what's in our curly double brackets. And your CTA, there we go. Boom. New drive location is going to be staying with my drive. It's not going to be in a shared drive or something shared with me. New document location. But if you had a client, you were doing this for a client, you could do that. It's going to stay in the same folder. So we're going to click save. So now we're creating that. Oh, there we go. We're going to move this over, make it a little bit bigger. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get a presentation. So now we're going to get this presentation that we just created from our template. The presentation ID, we're going to map this back to that previous module. So now we've gotten this presentation, we need to get it. We've created it, now we need to get it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put in a flow control, a router, because what we're going to do is we're going to have one for LinkedIn and one for Instagram. So now with LinkedIn, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our Google Drive and we're going to download the file we just created. Make sure you're using the right Google Drive account, right? The file ID is going to come from the previous module, like so the very previous module, so the second Google Slides, because this is we got that. This might be cutting off, but we just kind of have to click OK. From there, I'll move this over a bit. We're going to do Google Drive. So now we downloaded the file. So then we're going to upload it again, because what we're going to do is it's already linked to this previous Google Drive, right? So it's going to be linked from here. I'm going to show advanced. One thing I forgot to do actually is we're going to convert the Google slide to a PDF. If you remember with LinkedIn, you need to have a PDF file for it to upload. So we're going to do the folder ID. It's this Google Drive here, or this file there. We're going to select from the list. The new drive location, it's going to stay in the same folder, really. Carousels. And then we just click OK. Just click OK again. See, sometimes that happens. So then when we go back into Google Drive, what we'll have is a PDF version of it, which we can use for LinkedIn. Now, unfortunately, we can't automate LinkedIn carousels, as we already know, but that's okay. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to get a page thumbnail. And this is what's going to create basically a thumbnail or a picture of the slide. So we're going to use the presentation ID from this get a presentation, right? That the previous thing. And then the page object ID, this is where it's a little bit tricky. So we need to go into slide and then object ID, because each slide is going to have its own numbering. It's not like slide 1, slide 2, but to get slide 1, we'll put a 1 in between these two things, and we're going to click save. Now we can clone this. Now right after here, you can use your array, which we did in this previous video, but we're going to do a different method. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just cloning these, right? So this is just a different way to go about, instead of using an array aggregator works just fine. Boom, do that. So, but you can just grab one thumbnail for each slide individually like this. All you have to do is just change this number in the middle. And what I just realized is that we need to show the page thumbnail in order to get the actual image. I'm going to change this one. You got to click that to yes, save. So each one of these, so we just did 2. I'm going to change that to yes, and then 3. Now, if you had a 10 slide thing, you're going to use your array aggregator. I just wanted to show a different method for this. I'm just going to click yes. Especially if you just wanted to grab one of these slides for whatever reason. I don't know why you would, but you just might want to just pick one or two of the slides or every other slide or something like that. There, and then we're just going to click OK. So after all of this, and we can see we're getting 1, 2, 3. We could rename these if we really wanted to, but you probably should, but I'm not going to. Then we're going to go into Instagram for business. We're going to create a carousel post. Now for the files, we're going to say it's an image, and then the photo URL, we have to go back through to the first get a page thumbnail. So this is where the array aggregator does help, because then you don't have to kind of count and track each one. We're going to add an item, media type, image. What's kind of cool too is that you can have one of these as a video. So this is how you would do that as well. Image, and this is just basically a rinse and repeat through here. Just make sure that you're counting this properly. I probably should have renamed these, but that's okay. There's only 6. So, I mean, if you had one that was 10 pages, definitely you're going to want to use your array aggregator. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's just going to be the previous 2. Image, see, again, it's just a rinse and repeat. This is the 5th one, and then one more. Oh, image, not video. But you can do video if you really wanted to. I don't know if you could do that in Google Slides, but that's okay. I think you can. And then the caption, we're going to scroll all the way back to our Google Sheets, and that's where we have caption in that column. Remember, we copied and pasted it. You don't have to worry about location ID. You just might want to, cover all of this and then click OK. I'm sorry if that kind of cut off for you. Okay, so now we're just going to we take a look at the whole thing. Oh, we should rename this. Double click carousels from YouTube, YT Transcript. And then we're going to pop a quick save on this. There we go. Now, I did connect my Instagram for business for Adorable Finds. I'm going to right click this, run once, because this is going to run through the header row. Remember, so we've got the header row. But yeah, now what we can do is just click a run once. And as I was saying, now you can see that this is going over line 2. First thing we're doing is going to be our PDF, but let's go into Adorable Finds because this is the only one that I have. I don't have one for my tailor-made yet for Instagram. You see that it's chugging through. It chugged through that really fast. But we'll check our Instagram because what I'm going to do is take a look at it first. But I also want to make sure that I delete it because I don't necessarily want to have that on my Adorable Finds. So just give this a second to run through. It's usually not too bad. It does take a second. Not a big deal. Here we go. I'm going to click a quick refresh. Ooh, and there it is. Okay. Now we can see, and you can scroll through. Why waste time? Look at this. This is fantastic. And it works perfectly, doesn't it? For Instagram. There we go. Now what I'm going to do, oh, I better delete this. Click 3 dots, just click delete because, if you don't really like that. But there you go. You've got your carousel automated fully for you. There, and now it's no longer there. But here, I'm going to refresh my Google Drive. I don't know why I have so many copies of it, but that's okay. But now we even have the PDF version. If we click on this, now this is one that you can upload, of course, to your LinkedIn as well. It's going to be a little bit more manual because LinkedIn doesn't allow for automation for carousel posts. Hopefully one day that will change. But this is what you can have. So there you have it, 2 ways that you can leverage your existing work and make the most out of the work that you've put in. And you can, in the meantime, expand your reach and your audience for your content. Now, if you're not already subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon because you don't want to miss next week's video when we're going to go through some of the other ways that you can leverage your YouTube videos for other types of content. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy creating!